Hello, Riding Side Saddle. It's Lisa.
And Tammy.
It feels like forever since we have recorded.
Because it has been nearly forever.
Like 2 months almost.
It's been 2 months, I know. Well, we didn't take a break, but we had 4 recordings in the can with Erica.
We had.
Dr. Erica filled us right up. Yeah.
Yes, talking about endocrine system and women's health.
Yes.
And it was amazing.
Yep, it was amazing.
But it really allowed us a good couple of months to not record.
I know.
So, man, my heart missed you.
Absolutely. And I remember when we talked about, okay, we could get 4 recordings in. That doesn't mean that we don't have to see each other for 2 months. And then that's how it worked out.
Sure shit.
So I feel like this is one of those, like we get a few things, we get a few weeks, like in the can, and then, okay, we get a little, we have a little wiggle room, we have a little break, and then we get right back to, so we don't have anything for next week, we better get together and meet. It feels like this is very deadline driven.
Sorry, Todd. It's like instant gratification. Ooh, we have a couple of weeks where we don't have to do anything. Let's just sit back and relax.
Yeah.
And then we squander it.
That.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So we've squandered again. We're deadline driven. It's, I think, a type A sort of thing. Even though I really want to be type B, I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. So deadline driven it is. And we didn't get to see each other for 2 months.
I know, which is the worst part.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the worst part.
Right?
I've missed you a ton.
Absolutely. We message regularly. And by regularly, I mean every day and several times a day. It is not the same.
No,
I still
it's
feel
not.
very disconnected.
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely
It's not
agree.
the same.
I can't look deeply into your eyes. I can't hear your laughter.
That's true too. There is something though about being in the same space with somebody, right? It's just different than a video chat, which we don't really do. But it's that even that wouldn't be the same, right? I mean, that's better than nothing,
right?
But it's not the same.
No, it's
a telephone call is better than no contact, but it's not the same as spending time with somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tonight we made up for lost time. We took a good walk. It's
almost
April.
2 miles.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's April here, in Wisconsin. So spring is just now.
It's April 30th.
Oh yeah, the last day.
It is the last day.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Christy.
Oh, happy birthday,
I have to
Christy.
remember to send her a message when we're done here. Yeah. And my stepsister Melinda, but I don't think she listens, but her too.
All right.
I have 2 messages I have to send before I can go to bed.
I'll remind you.
All right.
The leaves are coming out on the trees. The grass is green. We have tulips. We have daffodils. So
birds are back.
It's really just the weather's starting to get nice.
Yeah.
So we decided to take a good walk tonight.
Yep, we did.
To catch up.
Yep,
and
almost 2 miles. That was nice.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Mm-hmm. Till we had to run across an intersection.
And then Tammy peed herself a little bit.
A little bit.
It's fine.
I didn't even have to pee. I didn't feel like I did. And then we're running across the intersection and dribble.
It was the surprise. It was the surprise pee.
It's ridiculous.
I know. I feel like there's like an extra little pouch in there.
Oh.
Like you empty your bladder, and then if you sit there a little bit longer,
a little more comes out.
I
didn't sit there.
Right. It's the reserves.
Yeah, I didn't let the reserves out.
The surprise piss yourself reserves.
Right.
Every woman is built with it.
I wonder, what is that about?
God.
So we got a new refrigerator.
Oh, I'd like to hear the connection here.
Yeah, we got a new refrigerator, and our old one too had an indoor water and ice dispenser, right? So you don't have to open the fridge or the freezer; it's just right there on the outside of the door. Well, our old one, you could switch between ice and water with no problem. This new one, when you switch between ice and you go back to water, it leaks a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So it's like a stress incontinence.
Yes, it's like that.
Of your refrigerator.
It's the reserve, and that's what I think it is. There's a little bit left in the tube, and when you go back to water, it lets it out.
Damn it.
I know.
Is it in menopause?
It might be, although it's brand new, so you would think not, but maybe. And I haven't decided if I should call and say this leaks and somebody needs to fix it, or if this is just the way it is.
Pain in the ass.
Right.
Make a big deal out of something, and then it's going to be a huge pain in the ass to get handled.
Or it's not going to get fixed at all, and this is just the way it is.
Right.
I've had too many of those episodes with cars where I feel like it's just the way it is. We're just going to have to learn how to use it. Yeah.
Just have a little sanitary napkin sitting there
Josh
waiting
did
for the
put
little
a dishcloth in there, and I was like, that looks ridiculous. We are not doing that. I am all about the way something looks, and he is about the function.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So Scott's been listening, and this is going to make him absolutely laugh. It is the difference between form and function.
It is.
And and he is so focused on function.
Yeah.
And I'm like, of course
Josh
I want
is
it to
too.
work. Of course. That's
not negotiable.
right.
Yeah.
Like that's expected.
Or we're not going to do it. Whatever it is, we won't buy it.
Correct.
Yeah.
But it also must have form.
Yes.
If it's going to function and look like hell, no
I don't
thank
want
you.
it. Right.
I pass.
Yes. So we just, on our cottage, we put a new porch on a couple weeks ago. Well, we didn't, but we hired someone to do it. And it looks fantastic.
It does
so
look
we need to
fantastic.
get some furniture to put out there, right? So we didn't have furniture picked out ahead of time, in part because I wasn't entirely sure how big it was going to be. And like I had an idea, but I didn't have actual measurements.
Yeah.
Right. So I couldn't just go buy furniture and, hope for the best. Or I could have, but I didn't.
Right.
So now I know how big it is, and I have an idea of...
And you needed to see it visually.
Yes.
Measurements sometimes don't even allow for that. You have to be able
Exactly.
to be in the space.
Correct. And we have some folding lawn chairs that we are using in the meantime, and I can see how those 4 chairs fit in this space.
Yep.
And so so it can't be bigger than these chairs.
Right.
Whatever we get cannot be bigger than these chairs. We can have some small end tables also, but the chairs have to be this size. So I ordered the lawn chairs last year. So I know what those dimensions are because I can go back and look at that order.
Right.
So that's great. Well, I have in my head, this is going to be an outdoor living space. It's going to be a living room outside.
As it should be.
My husband sees plastic. He sees
I don't want to spend a lot of money.
that it all needs to collapse and fold up for easy storage.
Convenience. Yeah.
Yeah. So he sends me a picture because now he's researching, right? He's
God.
shopping. I use those terms in quotes, air quotes. He sends me this. It's supposed to look like fake wood, but it's plastic.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's like pleather, but in wood.
Yeah. It's a hard plastic. It's
plud.
Yeah. Plasticky wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that. And it's red, which I like. I like the red color, and I wanted red furniture. I wanted red chairs, but I didn't want this big heavy plastic, right?
Yeah.
I wanted something cute and whimsical and colorful and
Like the rest of your cottage.
right. He wants something sturdy. He wants it to last forever. He wants it to fold up. He wants it to be indestructible, and it's ugly.
Right.
So I saw the picture come through, and I did not acknowledge it. And this was on a Sunday.
I do that too.
So then, I went out. He was already outside. I went outside and I was doing a couple of things in the yard, and he says, "Did you see that picture I sent?"
Nope. What picture?
I said I did, but I didn't have a chance to really look at it, and that was it. I let it go. I never said another word about it because it's ugly.
Right.
It's ugly.
Right. Form is just as important as function.
Yes.
Unless it is in a closet and nobody is ever going to see it.
Right.
It's never going to see the light of day.
In which case,
It
I
is-
don't know why we have it.
It is
so
equal. Well, whatever it is.
that's what I'm
right?
saying.
Yeah.
But if it's something that we're never going to bring out to see the light of day, we shouldn't buy it in the first place. Leave it in the freaking store.
If
We
it's
don't need it in our closet.
If it's a fucking furnace, I don't care what
Okay,
it looks
fine.
like.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
That type of thing.
That's
right.
true.
If it's a water heater, get
Don't
the
care.
ugliest fucking one
I don't care.
on the
Is
planet.
it cheap? Great. Will
Right.
it work for a long time?
Exactly.
That's the one we want.
Exactly. So that's what I mean.
I see.
Like,
yes, right. Got it.
but if it's something that people are going to see, equal amount of value.
I would agree.
Equal.
I would agree. Yes. And we go through this round and round for just about every purchase, it seems. And ultimately, he ultimately and he does know, and he will readily admit, my wife does this stuff. I can't see it.
So then why?
I don't know.
Just leave it to me.
That is ultimately where the argument comes around to. Why are you doing this?
Josh, why don't you go clean the bathroom so that I can focus on this?
Then he'd really be looking. His thumbs would be on fire, searching for something, shopping for something ugly.
It's so interesting because Scott is, I mean, he's a guy, right? So he thinks about function before form. But the interesting thing, and I say this to him all the time, he has a very nice, like, he appreciates beauty.
My husband does too. After the fact.
So I don't understand why those things don't connect, because he can see beauty and he can like have a really fond appreciation of it. It's one of the unique things about my husband that I love. But in this manner, when he's like I think it's the problem solving mode.
Maybe. For my husband, he doesn't have a mind's eye. So that picture, even though he is looking at this picture of this ugly red plud table, he can't see it in his mind's eye with everything else. And I see it, and I see a sore thumb.
Right.
And he doesn't. So he's got the form, right? The function is happening. And he thinks the form is fine because I'm looking at it and that looks fine, but he doesn't see it in the space.
I see.
That's how it is for Josh. I'm not sure about Scott.
That's
and
not
then
the
after
same.
the fact, he'll look back and he'll say, "Oh yeah, this does look really nice. I'm glad we did that."
Got it. When you've selected what you wanted.
Yes. So now I just ignore him and I just do what I want.
Right.
And then after the fact, when people are like, "Oh, this looks so great," and he will readily admit, "Yep, Tammy did it. I had nothing to do with this."
Yep. So he should just skip the middle.
He should.
baloney.
He tries to participate though, and I can't be mad about that.
Well, no.
No, because I'd rather that than him be like, "I don't care, do whatever you want."
Right.
Because that doesn't feel like we're being a partner then.
Well,
right?
you're not.
That's
You're still not being a partner because you're like, okay, so you just sent me this plud thing, and I'm just going to have to ignore it.
trying. He's actually trying. I appreciate the effort, is what I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough.
Rather than washing his hands and
Fair
be
enough.
like, "No."
Fair enough.
So I also ordered, and I don't even know if I'm going to like it. I ordered an outdoor rug to go in there, but it's not really fabric. I think it's plastic.
Yeah. But that's, I mean,
But
it
not
has
like
to be
plud,
that way.
but it's not
right.
plud.
Right.
So-
It has to kind of be durable to be an
Yes,
indoor,
right.
outdoor type
Exactly.
of carpet.
So I don't know if I'll keep it or not, but it looks like I like it in the picture. So we'll see. He hates the idea of a rug.
Oh.
We don't need a rug outside. That's just going to wreck the deck and it's going to get moldy under there. And it's no, we don't. And I said, "Josh, this is supposed to be an outdoor living space. You need a rug to anchor the space."
You do visually. On top of it, they make those rugs for that purpose. So
Right.
it's not going to get moldy
Right.
underneath.
Right.
Right.
Yes. I know that. He doesn't. And he's salty about the rug. And I didn't pick his plud table. I found this cute mosaic table and it's
Oh.
round. He had a square one, which is not going to work. There are too many right angles in there. We need some round to soften the edges. And yeah.
And it will just make it, and honestly, it will make it more functional because your deck is square.
Yes.
So it will allow
Yes.
for more space around the table.
Exactly. It's not a big, they're end tables. They're small. Like you could
okay.
just put
Okay.
one table in between two
Got
chairs.
it.
So you could put a drink down or have a snack
Makes
there or what
sense.
have you.
Makes
It's not,
sense.
we don't have room for a table in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. But that's not what we were really planning to talk about. I
No,
don't know.
this
None
is
of,
just a
none
little
of
bit
that
of a
actually
catch-up.
came out in our planning session. Yeah,
It's
that
just
is
a little
catch-up.
catch-up.
Yeah. What we were planning to talk about today was, those things that just they get you. Those thoughts that you ruminate on, the arguments that you're having in your head that you either have already had with somebody, and you're having it again in your own head. And maybe you're adding to it and saying the things that you wish you had said during that moment in that argument with that person. or it's a situation that like your thought just keeps going back to it, and you're just stuck in this loop and you can't get out, and it is sucking you dry.
I feel, well, that happens to me, right? And that's the reason why we were chatting about it tonight, is because I'm struggling with something that, gosh, it's old. It's years old. And I think that the reason why I ruminate about it myself is because it never truly got resolved.
Right.
I didn't get the opportunity to say what I wanted to say, or it wasn't received the way I had intended it to be received.
Yeah.
So it feels very unresolved. And then I sit, and like you said, I sit and I think and I think and I think and I replay, and
maybe I say it different in my head. Even if it's not the things I wish I had said, maybe it's just saying it different so I can hope to get a different result. Only the other people are not in the room.
Right.
This is
It's
all
just
in my
me.
head.
It's just me.
Sometimes I even have these arguments out loud, but I'm the only one in the room.
I've done that literally in the mirror.
Yes.
I remember
Yes.
doing that.
Yes.
Like that's, man,
Yes.
I've been doing, now that we're talking about this, I have been doing this for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, me
This
too.
ruminating type of thing.
Me too. Sometimes it's not even an argument or like, a bad conversation. Sometimes it's just a conversation. I wish I had said something different.
Yeah.
Not to be, maybe to be more funny or to be more, just more, right? Maybe I wish I had said something that I didn't say. It wasn't an argument, but they were saying this and it was funny, but I was going to say this, but then I pulled it back.
Oh,
Sometimes I
interesting.
do that.
Yep.
I don't ruminate on those as much as I do the arguments I've had. And mostly it is when someone has said something mean to me.
And you're hurt.
And I'm hurt.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But what I realize is that, and I didn't just realize this, I'm not that insightful. Through therapy, I realized that in those moments, I'm a victim. And by replaying those scenarios and those arguments and those events, conversations, I am allowing myself to remain a victim.
Right.
Now I'm stuck in a victimhood place. That is yucky.
Right. Well, and yes, that is entirely true. And that's a really good perspective to think about. Also, along those same lines, some of the reading that I've been doing recently has spoken directly about this as it relates to what it physically does to you.
Yeah.
Your body, as you are pulling these memories forward, right, and ruminating and re-envisioning the encounter,
Yes.
or putting yourself back in that conversation where you felt less or hurt, or somebody said something mean to you, or betrayed, or unfulfilled in some way.
Yeah.
That your body does not register that is just a memory.
Right.
Like you go through this process of replaying all of that, and it speeds up your heart rate, and it makes your face flush, and your pulse increases, and
Your cortisol spikes.
you start to cry. Like all of these things physiologically happen again, and your body does not recognize that it's already
You're
been
not
in the
in
past.
the middle of an argument.
Right.
Yeah.
So not only physically is it damaging, right, because you're replaying this over and over and over physically,
Yeah.
and putting your body through all of that stress
Yeah.
and cortisol, to your point, but also from an energetic perspective, right, that the energy that you
Like
are
emotional energy?
yes, that you are recreating around this
Yeah.
situation,
You are expending a lot of emotional energy.
you are expending a lot of emotional energy, and energetically, more
I see.
generally speaking,
Yeah.
you're creating friction and stress and like just the overarching energetics. It's impacting it negatively.
What you focus on, you will get. So you're focused on this negative situation, you will get more negative situations.
Yes. Oh, you like, this is the way you want to feel. All right.
Got it.
Then I'm going to magnetize more of this towards you.
Right.
Different ways, different people, same root issue.
Right. Yuck.
It also has, and I'm probably going a little bit more on the woo-woo side, but it also has direct impact to your chakra system and your aura.
Sure.
Because it's like a wet blanket.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that'll get you stuck in a hurry.
It's like it's either going to retract your chakra or your energy or your aura because it's been stifled, or it's going to be in excess. It's not going to be balanced, right? So every time you meaning me, because I do this regularly, every time I do that, it puts my body back into a cycle. It's like, oh, I know what we do. Oh, we're doing this again? Okay, well, we're doing this again. Like, I know what we do when we do this.
You were in a conversation where you didn't feel like you could say the things that you needed or wanted to say. So your throat chakra closes up.
Right.
Even though in your head or in your out loud voice when you're all by yourself having this argument again, maybe you are saying the things that you wish you could have said.
But it doesn't still get resolved.
It doesn't.
So you just repeat it.
Exactly.
And then it closes back up again.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So also in therapy, when my therapist discovered that I am having these arguments with myself in my head, that I am ruminating on hurts that go back 20 years. She said to me, do you realize that you can only have one thought at a time? And you get to control that thought. Because it felt very much to me like these thoughts were beyond my control.
Right.
They just come in and now they're there and I have to, and now I'm in it.
Right.
Right.
Right. Before I even realize
I didn't choose to have that argument in my head again. It just popped in and now I'm having that argument.
And literally that is what happens. Like we were just talking about you having an argument in your head while you were pouring your coffee this morning.
Yes.
Right. It feels like, I'm sorry, and I'm segueing a little bit, but I think it's really important to recognize that it does slide in there.
It does.
Really, really easily.
Yep.
And it's when your mind
choice.
is not occupied.
Correct.
Like all of a sudden you're there.
Yep.
I can be vacuuming or, washing my face or getting dressed or whatever, bored on a telephone call at work, and all of a sudden I'm in a fully different place.
Yeah.
And it's not an intentional act.
It isn't. It isn't. And so my therapist said, because you can only have one thought at a time and you get to control that thought. First of all, that felt very empowering. She said, what you have to do is you have to have a new thought already in place, because you can't just stop thinking something. That doesn't work.
No.
It's like when you tell kids, stop doing that. That doesn't work. If you say to them, stop, whatever. Stop throwing the ball against the wall.
Stop picking your nose.
Stop picking your nose. Come over here and
Lick
color
this
with me.
popsicle instead.
Okay, then they'll come over and lick the popsicle, right? But if you just say, stop picking your nose, they look at you and dig a little deeper.
Right.
Right?
Then they're going to pull their finger out of your nose and say, well, what the fuck am I going to do with this while I suck on my popsicle?
Okay, but you know what I mean?
Sorry.
Just saying, stop doing that doesn't work.
Right.
Come over here and do this instead. That works. So having that same process with yourself is really important. Have a new thought at the ready. Because when you need one, you can't just now try to think of one, because that doesn't work either. You're too stuck in that argument. You're never going to get yourself out if you don't already have a new thought ready, and one that you can pull out of your pocket at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
So she said to me, where do you feel your best? Think about what that place looks like. What does it smell like when you're there? What colors do you see? Is it outside? Is there a breeze? What color is the sky? What color are the trees? Is it inside? What color are the walls? What color is the carpet? Put yourself there. How do you feel?
Yeah.
Why do you feel that way? What is it about that place that makes you feel the way you do? So for me, at this time, it was shortly after I had done a boot camp, and I was trail running at a state park that was 10 minutes from my house, and that was my happy place. It was either that or my garden at home. And they both had different feelings, but I could pick either one of those out. And I could think, oh, I'm at the park and I'm running and I'm strong and I've got a good steady breath and my heart is strong and my legs are pumping and they're strong and they carry me up these hills and it's a challenge, but I've done it and I feel accomplished. And the trees are green and the grass is rustling and the birds are chirping and it smells like fresh earth and woods and all of that.
Yeah.
Now, guess what? I'm not thinking about the argument I had with my ex-husband 20 years ago.
Right.
I'm not thinking about the mean things his dad said to me after I was pregnant and didn't lose the baby weight.
Right.
I didn't, you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
And listen to me, I can immediately pick those up again.
Because
right?
they're right there.
Right. Some of those big ones.
Right.
But it takes a lot of practice because those arguments, like you said, they just slide right in. You don't even intend for that to be your thought. Next thing you know, you're arguing. You don't even know how you got there. But when you catch yourself there, oh, I'm doing it again. You know what? I'm trail running. I'm in my head. I'm trail running. I am strong. My heart is pumping hard and my legs are strong and I feel powerful and I feel accomplished. And
I love that.
when you do that often enough, pretty soon you stop.
Right.
Those other thoughts don't even enter in anymore.
Right. It can cut them off at the pass really quickly.
Yes. And it takes practice. This is not an overnight thing. It is a practice. I still use it today. I saw that therapist more than 10 years ago.
Yeah. Interestingly, as you are sharing that and talking about it, it's reminding me of some things that I have read and researched about how to manage yourself in a panic attack.
I could see this being helpful.
Yeah. It's not exactly the same,
No.
but it is the same in how it starts to connect with the senses. What smells? What do you
Yep.
feel?
Yeah.
What do you hear?
Yeah.
Right? That type of thing. And I think it makes sense, right? Because a panic attack and rumination, like the roots are very much similar. You have to stop
Yeah.
a mental process that's taking place.
Yeah.
Now they go two different directions, but the process of like putting a pause on it is the same, right? Think about where I am. What do I feel right now? Well, I feel my feet touching the bottom of my socks, right? I hear crickets outside. So it's taking that same type of like making your mind shift into something else.
Right. So you're not focused on
Yeah. And
your panic.
And panic attacks are anxiety based.
Yeah.
And so is rumination.
Yes. Yes.
It's just interesting. I was like, oh, there's a correlation. There's a correlation here, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It just is like, oh, jam it into park and click reverse.
Yes. Right. Choose a different street.
Yes.
Choose a different station on your radio. It's the same thing. Like your head is the radio. Choose a new station. I don't like that song. Change the channel.
Right. Right. One of the things that you had talked about when you were, talking about this suggestion and recommendation of how to get around it is to be able to say, like, you can't just stop something without replacing it with something else.
Right. You can only have one thought at a time. But you can't just make up a new thought when you're in that place.
Right. So it reminded me, like, that is an energetic rule as well. Just from the perspective of how the universe hears you, right? So when you're like, stop picking your nose or stop bouncing your ball against the wall, stop thinking about this situation that
Right.
happened 25 years ago. the universe doesn't necessarily hear that negative
No.
word. So, like, if you remove the word stop, it's
Pick your nose. Throw the ball against the wall. Think about that argument from 25 years ago.
yes,
Yeah.
and it will continue to
It will.
repeat those things because that's what it hears.
Right. Where your eyes go, you will follow.
Yes,
Yeah. I think that is a quote from The Art of Racing in the Rain.
it is.
A book. I can't remember the name of the author,
Yeah,
but
it is.
yeah.
As I read that one too.
Yeah. And it's true. Where your eyes go, you will follow. Where your thoughts go,
Energy
you will
follows
follow.
thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to start using that because I've been
It's
stuck.
Very effective. It takes practice.
Yeah, like
I don't
everything.
For sure. I don't want anyone to, try it once or twice and think, "Oh, I'm still having that argument with my ex-husband from 25 years ago." It takes time.
Continue, right?
Just keep at it. Every time you notice it, and I'll tell you what, there were times where I would be having this argument in my head and I would catch myself, and then I would picture myself at, I'm running and it feels great and I'm capable and strong and powerful, and then I would, okay, I'm good. And I'm usually at that point, like I'm in traffic, right? So kind of your brain is idle, right?
Right.
As soon as I stopped thinking about it, that argument came right back in. Gosh darn it. And it was the same thing. Like, it just slides right in.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing it
It's
again.
like competing
Darn
for...
it, Tammy.
Yeah, it's
We're back to trail running. It is competing for space.
Yes.
It absolutely is.
Yes.
But it's also, to your point, that's what I had been thinking about for years.
Yes.
So I'm not going to turn that thought off. It is going to find ways to slide in.
It's a
because that's what
recording.
it's always done.
Yes.
Yes.
It is an ongoing recording.
Exactly.
It's just doing what's normal at this point,
That's
right?
it.
We've been doing it.
That's
I've been
it.
doing it. You've been doing it for so long.
Yes.
That's just what you do.
That's it. Yes. It is, sometimes I have had to catch myself 3 and 4 times. Tammy, again, really? Again?
It's
Come
like,
on. Is this the kind of day we want to have? You want to set your day up arguing? This doesn't feel good.
It's literally like a bad habit.
It is a bad habit.
It's like biting your nails.
Yep. It absolutely is. Some people smoke in the car because it's a habit. I had arguments with people in my head in the car because it was a bad habit.
See, now that makes me feel a little bit better about this, thinking about it as a bad habit.
Yeah.
Right? Because I know that I can slide into a bad habit very easily without thinking about it,
Yeah.
right? Because it's just natural and it's what I do, even though I don't want to do it.
Yep.
But if I put forth the effort, the concerted effort, I can stop doing that.
Right.
Right? I can stop biting my nails.
Yes.
So it makes it feel like it isn't as big anymore
Right.
if it's simply a bad habit.
And
it's
it
just a
is.
mental bad habit.
That's exactly what it is.
That's interesting.
That's a really good analogy. Yeah.
Then I can tackle that, right?
Yep.
I don't like the way that makes me feel. I don't like the way that, my
You have-
fingers
yes.
look when I'm biting my nails.
Right.
Interesting. I like that. I like that. Well, and, for any bad habit, does it take some effort? Yes.
For sure.
Can you accomplish it? Absolutely you
Right.
can.
It starts with awareness, right? Catching yourself doing it rather than letting that whole argument play out all the way
Yes.
from beginning to end.
Yes.
You might catch yourself 3/4 of the way in and think,
Yes.
oh man,
Shit.
I'm doing it. I didn't even realize I was doing it. Well,
Yes.
so anyway, back to trail running.
Right.
And then the next time might be 3 minutes later.
Right.
You catch yourself halfway through. I said I wasn't going
Here
to do
I am.
this.
Right.
All right, back to trail running.
Right.
And then it might be 5 minutes later, and now you're in it again.
Right.
And maybe you're, 2/3 of the way in. Oh no, I'm doing it again.
Or, very similar to biting your nails. You're good for a long time until you get triggered.
Yeah, that's
And
true too.
when that trigger happens, then it's easy to slide back into that bad habit.
Yep.
So trail running it is.
Right.
Right.
Right. There have been times where I am aware that I'm having the argument, whatever. It's not always the same argument or even the same person. And I know I'm doing it. But it feels like something I need to,
Process.
like I need to ride it out a little bit more. And then I'll get to a certain point and it's an undefined point. All right, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I may not even need to do the trail running. I just needed to let it finish just finish the thought, finish the argument.
Yes.
It's not a 30-minute argument.
Right.
It is, more like 30 seconds, and just let it go. It slid in, it slides out.
Yes.
But when it keeps sliding in and it doesn't stay gone, it just keeps coming back, that's when I go back to. So now I'm trail running.
Right. Interestingly, in a situation that I've been struggling with for some time, I took some time, and this is my go-to all the time, but I took some time to write and to just get it out on paper. And honest to God, it felt like the biggest shift. It felt like the biggest shift for me. Like, okay, I'm settled. I'm settled with this. I can be done. And I was. I was done for, I don't know, like a week. And all of a sudden, then some of those bad habits started coming back in when my mind was like open
Not
and
otherwise busy.
yes.
Yeah.
So I hear you, right? We just
And you can't always grab your
process it
journal
differently.
or a piece of paper and a pen.
But we just process it differently.
We do.
Yeah.
But in those events when you can't, or those moments when you can't, maybe you're driving and you can't just stop and write it out. You could just put yourself in a different place.
Yeah.
Right? Somewhere where you feel safe, where you feel happy, where you
Most
feel
definitely.
strong, where you feel fulfilled.
Most definitely.
And capable.
Right.
And then when you have some time, get back to your journal and write those thoughts out so you can let them go.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to be breaking some bad habits.
Yay. That's exciting.
It is.
It really does feel very powerful, to me anyway, when I'm able to stop something. I know this is hurting me but I don't know how to stop it. Once I learned how to stop it and learned that I actually do have control over that felt so powerful. This doesn't have control over me. I have control over it. Whatever this is. It may not even be the person in my head that I'm arguing with. It's the issue.
Right.
Right?
Correct. It could be multiple different people, but the same type of issue. And that's
Or
what I was...
multiple different issues even, right? It's not even always the same thing.
Well, and that's what I was referring to earlier. Like, I got to stop this from happening. Well, then the universe is like, we're gonna create this to happen again.
You just
so
said
that
you want that to happen.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Message received.
Right.
Right.
So those types of things, sometimes you ruminate about like, why does this shit keep happening to me? Right? Like this happened, and that's the same thing as this person who did this or said this, and it might not even be a argument with somebody else, but it might be a situation that you find yourself in repeatedly.
A problem you can't solve.
Right. Right. Anyway.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way.
So that's a little recommendation to slide into your pocket.
Yeah, it works. It really does work.
Thank you for it.
You're welcome. Again, it takes some practice. It takes a lot of practice even, but to me, it feels better to do something than to just have those arguments because they were so draining. By the time I got to work, I was exhausted.
You're done.
In part because I had a long commute, but
well,
it was also the way I was spending that commute.
Emotional energy that was spent, right? Your chakras are now all blocked up or starved or, in excess or all of the things.
And physically, my cortisol is through the roof. Not only have I been in traffic for an hour, but I've had these arguments where I felt unsafe and unheard and unloved and uncared for and taken advantage of. And I wasn't ruminating about happy events.
Right.
These were all things I was being mean to myself.
So this book that I've been listening to, it's called Supernatural. I don't remember the author off the top of my head, but he talks very much about this particular thing in which he says that, you referred to it as victim mentality earlier, which I think is 100% true. Your body gets addicted to those those chemical responses, right? When you put yourself through like this turmoil mentally, and you repeat and you repeat and you repeat, there's certain chemical processes that take place, cortisol included, within your body, and your body becomes addicted to that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I need a hit of that again, so this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
So it's,
I know how to get that.
yes, real fast. So it's like, yeah, it's a bad habit and it's a mind game, but it is also like, it's also like a chemical dependency. Like you become addicted to those negative chemicals
so
in your body,
interesting.
and it repeats and it repeats and repeats. And then you're living, the way he explains it, is you're living in the past, like your
are.
autopilot,
Yeah.
which is exactly what's happening, because while I'm making coffee or driving to work or, you know, getting dressed or washing my face, those are autopilot times.
Sure.
I am not actively using my mind, right? And that's when it slides in. I just absolutely made this connection in this moment, but that's what he's referring to, right?
That's the autopilot.
Yeah.
Because you can only have one thought at a time, and your brain doesn't go to zero thoughts. It really doesn't. Like, you have to make an effort to meditate, right?
Right.
And even then, how many people can truly say they can meditate for a long period of time and have zero thoughts?
Not me.
I can't.
No.
I'm forever pushing thoughts in and out.
Right.
That too is a practice. But my point is, it is not, your brain doesn't default to no thought.
No, it does not. It fills it with something.
Yes.
So interestingly, I told you I was going to start going through that workbook about getting to know yourself. Do you remember that book that we purchased like 2 years ago and then never did anything with? I'm now on page like 4.
Oh,
So I
better
haven't
catch up.
I haven't gotten very far. But one of the exercises that she talks about in there that I've applied is setting an alarm on your phone, for instance, like 3 random times every day. And when that alarm goes off, just to take note about where you are in your mind. Are you present? Are you like in the moment that you're in, or are you in the past, or are you in the future? And I've been doing it for over a week, and it's been very interesting. Because I don't pay attention to the alarm enough to know, oh, that alarm is going to be coming up soon, right? So it catches me off guard. It happened while we were having dinner
I noticed
tonight.
that, and I thought, it's a reminder for something.
Yeah, no.
I didn't even ask about it.
It was that moment to say, okay, the alarm's going off. Where am I? And many times I'm absolutely not present in the moment. I am either in the past or in the future.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not a negative thing. It's just an awareness thing. It was really interesting.
That
and
is
I
interesting.
And I think that follows this
I know where
topic.
I would find myself most of the time.
Yeah. I think that follows this conversation quite
Yeah.
a bit too. It's just a really physical reminder to be like, where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you right now? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of cool.
And is it where you want to be? Maybe that's on page 5.
It may be. I haven't gotten there yet. Still working on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Interesting. All right. So
All good
there it
things.
is. Yeah, for sure.
So we should wrap this one up.
We should wrap it up. It came up tonight, and then I said, not only is it just something that we must have to talk about because it's coming up during our planning session, but it's something that it came up in a conversation with someone else in the last week or so. And so,
That
when
usually
it knocks
means-
a couple of times,
Yes.
I pay attention. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right, Todd from Mind Garden Media, thank you so much for being our production manager and taking care of all of our podcast needs. If
Thank
you are
you.
looking for somebody to do some podcast work with, please reach out to Mind Garden Media. They're on Facebook. You can find them there. Todd will help you. He'll walk you through all of the steps from getting started to buying equipment to publishing, all of this stuff.
Every bit he knows.
He sure
Thank
does.
you, Todd.
Thanks, Todd. And
thank you to our listeners. I don't have the information up this time. I didn't think in advance, but we are worldwide, continue to be worldwide, and within the last couple of weeks, in fact. So we thank you wherever you are listening from. Please talk to your friends about it, share.
Like, smash all the buttons, do all the things.
All of those things. Thank you for riding along with us.
Thanks so much.
All
Till
right.
next time.
Bye.
Toodaloo.